Not so long ago, I found myself thinking about how I missed the 5Ds era of Yu-Gi-Oh!, where, more times than not, just setting a face-down defense position Raikou Lightsworn Hunter was combo enough. A time where the biggest concern to me was making sure that my opponent didn't have that fourth Lightsworn name in their graveyard to be able to summon Judgment Dragon, where a card like Dark Arm Dragon lived on the limited list for a long time due to being one of the most powerful cards in the game. The days of needing to meet the correct levels along with a tuner and a non-tuner to access synchro summoning. Days where tribute summoning didn't feel like a -1, and days where Jeff Jones pioneered one of the funnest strategies of all time, Quick Draw Dandy Warrior. The time where Blackwing wasn't just a meme deck. That's why I created this channel. Welcome to the Edison Club. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the Edison Club. Also, a very warm welcome back to the What Was I Thinking segment. If you're new here, I did have an old segment called What Was I Thinking back when the channel was called Dark Magical Gaming, but this segment was so much fun, and it does fit in quite well with the Time Wizard aspect of the channel. So I think that is going to be a segment that we do continue doing on the channel. So today we have my Blackwing deck profile. Let's see, what year is this from? From 11 years ago, so this would have been like 2011, 2012-ish. I've watched a little bit into the video. I do think that this is after Black Whirlwind went to 1. And we're going to see what I played, what ingenious ideas I had for Blackwing to make them great again. Before we get started, as always, guys, if you don't mind, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Really means a lot to me when you guys do that. Motivates me to keep going, make more Edison content, things of that nature. So really appreciate it, guys. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this episode of What Was I Thinking? This is, once again, 2011 through 2012-ish Blackwings that I created. Also, too, credits to TYP336 for this video. Make sure you head on over to his channel and subscribe for him as well. So let's get started here.
What's up, YouTube? This is TYP336 here, aka Propane, aka the original Birdman. We have my apprentice, Michael Boyd, aka the Yu-Gi-Oh player, aka Bird Boy.
Bird Boy.
I still cringe at how awful my hair looks. My hair has always been naturally very curly and very wavy, but there was just no excuse. I needed a haircut really bad.
He's going to be showing us his new Blackwing deck today, and anything you want to say before we get into it?
Blackwings are still good. Guess that's
Agreed.
about it.
Alright, go ahead and show us your monsters.
Yeah.
I also have to point out the Edge WWE shirt as well, if it wasn't already cringy enough.
Monsters.
Yeah. First, you got two Vays. It's not Vayu Turbo, but just don't.
Bruh. How cheap was this card? Because I was a broke kid. I was still in high school when this video came out. How cheap was Ulti Vayu? Because this card is expensive now. I was just casually sitting here playing locals with two Vayus. Two ultimate Vayus. What the heck?
You need the double Vayu, because Blackwings work a lot better in the graveyard now. And they do more than they did because they don't have field control. Aura's still good because you're still pumping Sirocco. All that bunch of...
Okay, so far this doesn't look bad. I have definitely made worse decisions throughout the segments of this on the channel. But let's see. I'm sure that it will find a way to somehow get worse.
Good stuff. Dark Arm, just you gotta play it. Play 2 Reaper because you lost 2 Kalutes, so you have to keep some defense up to get your stuff going.
I don't feel like that's the same thing. I feel like this was very flawed logic. I don't feel like replacing 2 Kalutes with Spirit Reaper is accomplishing the same problem. I would just have assumed replace the 2 Kalutes with Shrink, so that way at least you're still triggering Shura. Oh god, this is bad.
Only 2 Blizzard because you draw it now. Works fairly well. 1 Gale, 1 Breeze to Zephyr. I play Breeze because mine removes stuff from play a lot more than regular Blackwings would. This is a great card for Black Feathers targets, another Shura target for an Armor Master.
Also, once again, like I point out in every one of these videos, I have no idea why I spoke the way I did. I have no idea. I don't know if I was going through an awkward stage, or I don't know, or if I just thought it was cool on camera. Definitely didn't age well watching this in 2022.
1 Clue, you gotta play it. 3 Sirocco, it's your crappy Cyber Dragon, but it's one of your best staples in the Blackwing deck. And 3 Shura, gets off your...
I feel like at a point where Blackwing only had 1 Whirlwind, fairly certain Whirlwind isn't 1 at this time, because this is past Edison, and 1 Kalute. I feel like there's no reason to not just play Vayu Turbo at that point. I mean, it didn't lose any cards for Vayu Turbo, but regular Blackwing just lost all of its cards.
Synchro to get out your Vortex to Whirlwind and all that good stuff. That's the monsters, I think it's 20, for sure. Spells, 1 Whirlwind, staple, book, double mystical, Econ, since you lost 2 Kalutes, you still have to have some defense.
Why? This makes more sense than Spirit Reaper because you can econ things to defense to play around the one of opposing Kalute, and then like Honest, because I think this is a list where actually I'm pretty sure Honest went to 1 as well on this list, but you can like econ things to defense and run over it with Shura. So this isn't the worst logic, but considering how bad this segment has been for my theory on things, I'm sure that was not the reason why I was playing this card.
Works good to replace the 2 Book of Moons you lose because you can take their stuff. Draw cards, you got 3 Upstart.
Okay, alright, Upstart Goblin. Alright, I have to say I'm a little proud of myself. Move over, Patrick Hoban. This is a few years before I was actually on Upstart Goblin. Okay, and an Ultimate Allure. Once again, how cheap were these cards? Because there ain't no way I could have afforded the cost of these cards now then. I'm pretty sure an ulti value, even at moderately played, is like over $60. So I just want to like find a way to go back and look at how cheap these cards were.
2 cards for Black Feathers. Usually you go through like 20% of your deck within the first like 4 turns.
What? You go through 20% of your deck on your first 4 turns? I don't feel like that's correct math. I really don't feel like that's correct math whatsoever.
And you got the good cards, Tank, Reborn, Dark Hole. I brought one of mine.
Alright, so this is also after they banned Heavy and then gave us Dark Hole and Reborn back. Okay.
Traps, you got 2 Icarus Attack, you just gotta play them. 1 Trenchel, 1 Oppression, double Bottomless, just 1 Delta Crow. I tried 2, I drew it too much. I never was really able to play it because I already have a lot more removal as it is. 7 Tools, Stop Solemn Warning.
I do low-key love 7 Tools of the Bandit. I actually played that card in my X-Saber deck that I played at the last Edison tournament, and that was my best card in the whole deck. 7 Tools of the Bandit caught so many people off guard.
Solemn Judgment. And my tech cards return from every dimension. All the cards that got their move stuff in play, not counting if they're going to probably have bottomless. You got those 3. You got the 3 Sirocco and the 2 Vayu. So that's all those cards that you have the potential to remove from play. Just like the other day I was playing with this deck.
Okay, that's not awful. Okay, that's actually not awful. That's also not counting Dark Arm Dragon as well.
My friend, teammate Taylor was sitting there playing.
Shouts out to Taylor.
I had a 0 defense monster set. So I'm like summon Bora. And throughout that whole game I had moved play 3 Sirocco. So I'm like 10
real
dimension.
Dragon Ball.
Hit for game.
That's the fake made by white people Dragon Ball.
That's the deck. The deck is exactly 43 cards.
I have no idea what's being talked about in the background, by the way. I have not the slightest idea.
I
get the extra deck. Basic, 2 Armor Master, 1 Silver Wind, 3 3 armed wings. It's because you get
Silver Wind was very cheap then and is very expensive now for an ultra rare.
it out easy. Green Act, Colossal, Black Rose, 2 Stardust,
Bruh, what is what?
Black Rose, 2 Stardust.
I am absolutely hoodwinked right now. I had two, not one, but 2 Ghost Rare Stardust Dragons in this deck. If I had kept all of these cards, I wouldn't even have to work anymore. They were just, I wouldn't have to work. I am like absolutely just befuddled right now. The fact that I had Ulti Bayous, Ulti Allure, Ghost Rare Stardust Dragons at a time where I didn't even have a job. Like, where I must have just been really good at trading at this time in my life. That's all I can think of. Maybe this was back in the days before everyone wanted to be a backpack vendor and trading was actually like a lot better. I am absolutely just shook at that. I don't even remember having those.
Mesh Bandroid, Taster, Friday Doom Dragon, Chimera Fortress. This is actually 2 IP 326 extra deck. I don't play Chimera. I play Vortex and Red Dragon Archfiend.
Wait, this was Ty's extra deck? I don't even remember him having Ghost Rare Stardust Dragon. Okay, at least it was him, not me. So, like, at least... As I was sitting here trying to remember a time where I had that. I remember there was a time I had one. And it's a good story. I'm not going to bore you. But every year, close to Christmas time, there was a flea market, because this locals here that we're in was in a flea market. There was a flea market in Winston-Salem, which is about an hour away from my flea market locals. There was another flea market locals, you notice a trend here. But they had a very wide selection of singles. So my dad would always take me there around Christmas time, and I could pick out some cards I wanted. And one of the cards that I picked out that time, or one of the times, was a Ghost Rare Stardust Dragon, which was in the case. I remember saying I really wanted that. And that Ghost Rare Stardust Dragon was only $20. And now I don't even want to look up the price of that card. I think I would actually be sick if I looked at the price of that card now.
And not Doom Dragon. So that's my Blackwing deck I play now. Any comments on the deck, Ty?
It's very good. I should know. I built it with your text, of course.
He built it. Okay, this was what was he thinking. I'll get into my review. We have just a few seconds left of this, and we'll get into the review on this deck.
And yeah, YouTube, honestly, Blackwings are still the top deck, I think, because think about it, they keep getting hit every format. And why is that? Because they're just the best deck. Bottom line, Blackwings are here. Get over it or get flown over. TYP 336, sign out. If it ain't pro, it ain't us.
Okay, I actually kind of like that little analogy at the end. Get over it or get flown over. That's that. Oh, hold on. We're getting into Invoke Dogmatica. I actually kind of like that. So that's not the worst deck I've ever seen. I actually feel like you could go back to that format, which is post Shining Darkness. This is probably toward the end of the year of 2010, and build that deck and do at least okay. Obviously, there would be changes. I think that a card I really would play would be Shrink in that format, because you only have one Kalut and you don't have Book of Moon. Well, Book of Moon went to 1. So I think that that's a card I would play. I think I would play Shrink in that deck 100%, because like one of the biggest things about Kalut was being able to Shura over anything, and then you're obviously going to be able to Shrink over anything. It's not searchable, but pretty much none of the Blackwings at that time are searchable anyway, because one Whirlwind just isn't real. I'm also fairly certain, I think Pot of Duality was out at this time, or very close, so that would be a card that you would play in there. I probably would have played Dark Grepher, Armageddon Knight, and just made it more of like Vayu Turbo, rather than just trying to stick with the old Blackwings. But the cards for Black Feathers and the Return from Different Dimension are... I don't think that that's that bad. This is probably one of the better ones that we've watched. At least it's not playing 19 tribute summons and a hero engine, like one of the very first ones that we watched was. So, guys, yet another one for the books of What Was I Thinking. That was my 2011 to 2012 Blackwing deck, and I hope that you guys enjoyed that little trip down memory lane. All right, guys, this is Mike from the Edison Club signing out. Until the next one, take care, everyone.